How can we help her to stop crying? That's the question my parents asked when I was born with colic. They tried everything, including taking me for a boat ride in this wood boat that my dad made. The steady sound of the motor and the gentle movement of the water always put me to sleep. So it seemed natural for me to be in a boat and on the water at a very young age. As I grew up, I spent a lot more time in that boat, and my parents taught me how to fish. I still remember the thrill of seeing my rod tip bend down and feeling the strong tugs of my first fish. It seemed like it took forever to reel in the big northerns. I remember how they made my little arm muscles sore and how their slime was cold and sticky when I held them up close. I learned to fish in the winter too, catching a few walleyes on Red Lake. After a few hours of pulling out minnows from the ice-cold water in the bait bucket, a cup of hot chocolate sure felt good to warm up my hands that were stinging with pain. But teaching my little brother how to put a wiggling minnow on a hook made him smile, and it was worth it. Many years later, I tried a different type of fishing, saltwater fishing in the Florida Keys. The Keys are a series of small islands that extend from the southern tip of Florida to Key West. The 7-mile bridge is famous in the Florida Keys, connecting Knights Key to Little Duck Key. The first bridge connecting all the Keys was built in the 1900s, and the second in 1982. I introduced my husband, Dave, to the sport of ocean fishing, and boy, did he get hooked. This is one of his favorite views, sitting in our boat between the old and new 7-mile bridges. Where else can you fish the beautiful calm waters of the Gulf of Mexico on the west, and in less than a minute fish the more adventurous waters of the Atlantic Ocean on the east? In the Keys, the first rule of thumb is that you must have chum. Chum is a mixture of ground up fish guts, which you place in a mesh bag and throw over the side of your boat. It leaves a trail of oily fish parts called a chum line to attract fish. Dave and I are excited this year to bring along our food processor and make our own chum. Our motto is, no chum, no fun. We like using real bait, so every morning we buy fresh live shrimp, ballyhoo, and calamari squid. This is the same squid the restaurants serve as an appetizer. We cut the squid into rings and the ballyhoo into chunks. It's best to do this right before putting them on the hook to keep everything fresh and pleasant looking for the fish, because presentation is everything. Mackerel are fast and fun to catch, either casting or trolling. Light tackle provides great sport with Spanish and Cero mackerel. The fillets are rich and their food value is excellent, especially when prepared fresh out of the water. Once hooked, their shiny silver and blue iridescent eyes provide quick flashes of light through the water as they dash back and forth. The crevalle jack has beautiful yellow markings and the meat is dark red. There are few better for strength and stamina, and the resistance is stubborn. This one gave me a fight for over 45 minutes. The grouper family of fish is known for their excellent food quality with many varieties of interesting colors and patterns. They can be caught drifting, trolling, or casting. A pointed head and a jaw full of jagged teeth identifies the great barracuda. It is one of Florida Keys' most spectacular fighters, mixing fast and long runs with great hounding jumps. Have plenty of line on your reel when fishing for this one, because I have watched it take all the line off my reels before, which is exciting and intimidating all at the same time. It doesn't take long to attract the sharks. From bonnetheads to nurse sharks, they are always looking for a fresh bite. You can see the outline of this 8-foot nurse next to the boat, and half of its body pulled out of the water as Dave decides to take matters into his own hands and wrestle with it to get his hook back. They are not good fighters until you get them in the boat. For us, the beautiful blue and green colors of the ocean are inviting. Sometimes we like to get a little bit closer to the fish we're catching and we jump in. I am amazed when I see the world of creatures and plant life that lie under the water surface. Keep your eye open for 400 species of tropical fish that surround North America's only living coral reef. After a full day of fishing, we scrub our boat clean, and we look forward to the gathering of our family of friendly fowl. As Dave cleans the fish, all eyes are watching, and they eagerly wait for him to toss a tasty little morsel into the air. With one giant gulp, one lucky pelican gets the treat. When the fish runs out, they disappear as quickly as they came. You can fish in the flats, reefs, deep sea, on or under the bridge, but the Florida Keys also offers the chance to see amazing wildlife up close. When I took this photo, I couldn't help but notice how this bird's curled up claws resemble the roots of the mango tree on the left. Sometimes wildlife resembles nature, or is it the other way around? Its beauty makes it tempting to pick it up, but beware. Its long tentacles have stinging cells containing a powerful neurotoxin that will cause serious injury. This is the magnificent Portuguese man of war. We found these two nestled together along the shore one day. They float on the water with their gas-filled chamber, and their outer skin is very durable. People and animals want to enjoy the warm sun in the Florida Keys. On one of our trips, we found this iguana by our boat every day, sitting on the rocks in the early morning, waiting for the sun to warm him up, and we named him Ziggy. He almost looks like he's proud to display his awesome form and doesn't mind posing and smiling for a quick photo. Key West is the southernmost city in the continental United States, and it is bustling with animals. Colorful birds like the hyacinth macaw are perching here and there. Chickens diligently dodge between people on the street. Key deer dine with us at our dinner table and enjoy nibbles of bread, and even the dogs dig the laid-back attitude and lounge on rooftops. The Florida Keys culture is also ripe with different types of music, from bands to individual musicians on the street. When it comes to making friends in the Florida Keys, music is the key. My husband is a drummer, so sometimes we rock it out there with Rocket Man, Gerd Rube from Germany, the Florida Straits Band, and the Soft-Spoken Piano Man. Forrest Gump's mother said, "Life is like a box of chocolates." And I think fishing in the Florida Keys is like that too, because you never know what you're going to get. We fish on our own, and we don't catch the biggest fish, but for us, it's about being on the water, enjoying each other's company, and seeing the culture. I have fished in Minnesota's northwest angle, in the waters of Jamaica, and in the deep fjords of Norway, but my favorite place is the Florida Keys. In 14 days, my husband and I will be heading down to the Keys again for another adventure. I already know that wherever I set my hook, Dave is going to be my best catch. And he's a keeper too.